Hello, everyone. Welcome to Know Your Career Options. In this space, we are going to talk about various career options, be it the traditional career options or the new age career options, the emerging career options. We are going to take up psychology and its different career options in today's session. If you take up psychology, what are the possible careers you can take up and finalize as your career options? What we are going to discuss in today's session. And in case you are not able to decide for yourself whether psychology is your cup of tea or not, you can definitely get connected with us. We will conduct your psychometric based test analysis, and based upon the analysis, we'll guide you with your strengths, your aptitude, your skills, and accordingly, we will let you know whether psychology can be the right career for you or not. So, taking the session ahead, I would like to talk about the details of the psychology. Basically, first, I would like to discuss what exactly is psychology. What is psychology as a subject? So, the word psychology is a Greek word, and psyche means breathing or spirit or self, and logic is called as logia, which means knowledge of. So, basically, knowledge of your own self. It is the study of human mind and behavior, which embraces various aspects of conscious and unconscious experience as well as the thought process. So basically, psychologists they study the processes, reactions, feelings, nature of the human mind, and accordingly, they suggest various roadmaps on the basis of the be with medication or otherwise with the help of counseling. So, if you have decided in your grade 10 that you want to pursue humanities, and then you decide in your undergraduation that you want to take up psychology as your subject, so before finalizing, you should definitely watch this video to understand what all subjects you would be studying. It is not just taking up the subject, but you should be well aware that if I go this way, what all subjects I will be supposed to take up. So these are the following subjects that one needs to study in psychology as a major subject or specialization. The first subject that comes is general psychology. Then is statistics, followed by is abnormal behavior. So these are various subjects which are being discussed and taught in detail in undergraduate level. Then comes organizational behavior, health psychology, social psychology, counseling psychology, and applied psychology. So these are the basic subjects will be covered. Various topics and subjects will be covered under undergraduate course if one takes up psychology as a mainstream subject. Now, I would like to talk about that if you have taken psychology, then you should also be aware about that what are the skills that are required for a person to become a good psychologist. It is not just about studying because you're studying it, you want to take it up as your career. If you have these following skill sets in yourself, only then you would be comfortable being a psychologist and you would enjoy studying psychologist. So the key skills would be as you should have good interest in how people think, how people behave, and you should have good research skills, going deep into the thought and the topic. You should have excellent team working skills, excellent communication skills. You should be able to communicate the right content to the person, not time and again explaining yourself and re-explaining yourself, thus leading into a confusion and disaster. So your communication skills should be very clear and excellent. Then you should be a sensitive listener, and you should also possess good questioning skills. You're listening to the person accordingly, side by side. You should also question out of the content that you're getting through those information being shared by the person who's coming to you for as a psychologist. You should have this skill, and you should also have the ability to relate and empathize with wide range of people. You should have the ability to cope up emotionally with demanding situations. All right. So besides that, you should also have knowledge of your psychological theory and practice. These are some of the skills that are must. Without these skills, it will be tough for a person to become a good psychologist. Right. Now, as I mentioned, I will be discussing with you various options that one can pursue as a career after studying psychology. Let me begin with some of the interesting options. I would like to talk about sports psychology. So, this is the branch of psychology which focuses on how individuals are affected by playing sports, as well as how to improve a person's mindset in order to excel in sports. Because it's not only about excelling in the skill of playing a sport, it is also about having a strong mental strength to face that kind of a pressure. Person's mindset is what sports psychology details about. So this is a very interesting and upcoming career option in psychology. The other is neuropsychology. This deals with understanding the relationship between physical brain and behavior. Okay. Another one I would like to talk about here is abnormal psychology. So, abnormal psychology, this branch of psychology deals with psychopathology and abnormal behavior. The mental health professionals, they help assess, diagnose, and treat a wide variety of psychological disorders, including anxiety and depression. The other branch of psychology I would like to mention here is cognitive psychology. This branch of psychology focuses on the internal mental states. Psychologists who work in this field, they often study things such as perception, motivation, memory, attention, decision making, problem solving, emotions, language, learning. So this is all which is related with cognitive psychology. Other interesting streams and new age streams I would like to talk about is forensic psychology, something which is very emerging, as this branch of psychology deals with criminals and other legal disputes. Professionals in this branch, they help the law enforcement authorities by applying their psychological knowledge to assess the situation in various issues. So, the forensic psychologist, he assists in a wide variety of legal matters, including child custody, family, law, violence, risk assessment, and social science research, among others. So, aren't these very interesting career options in psychology? Please do share your comments on this as well. How are you finding this information? Next, I would like to talk about is consumer psychology. We as a consumer definitely have a psychology when we go out shopping. So this branch of psychology deals with the study of why people buy a particular thing, why people buy things basically to begin with. And professionals in this branch work directly with the major companies to determine like which kind of marketing garners more response from the people. They try to such consumer psychologists, they try to study the human behavior in the form of a consumer. How is consumer behaving to this kind of an advertisement or this kind of a marketing strategy, and how are their market garnering, or how is the response coming to their strategies? How is consumer getting attracted to those products, and the products are running within minutes off the shelf, right? Okay. Now let us talk about another branch of psychology, that is educational psychology. So this branch of psychology, it deals with students and their education. Professionals of this branch help students by aiding them in solving education related problems like stress, how to plan for the future. They are also known as educational or school counselors. Okay. Then I would like to talk about the most well known branches like counseling psychology. So, counseling psychology is the branch which deals with a person's personal and interpersonal functioning across their lifespan. Child psychology is a well known branch under counseling psychology, and it focuses on the development and behavior of children. Okay. Then comes clinical psychology. clinical psychology is another very famous branch of psychology. It is well known branch, as it is the branch which comes to the mind when we hear about the word psychology. So when we hear psychology or psychologist, the common man who understands with psychology word, they understand clinical psychology only. So it's a, I would say, a traditional branch which has been existing since ages. So it is the branch which deals with the treatment of mental illness, abnormal behavior, and psychiatric problems. So this is generally taken by students from the science stream. This clinical psychology is not taken by humanities students. This comes from the medicine line. These are doctors. So these are taken by science stream. Psychologists are doctors who take up clinical psychology. Other psychology stream that I would like to talk about is organizational psychology, or you can also known it as industrial psychology. So this is also a very famous branch. This is also a very famous branch of psychology, and professionals in this field, they apply psychological principles to research workplace issues such as productivity, employee behavior, and this branch is closely related to human resource development, HR, which has emerged as an important subject in business studies these days. So this is like with psychology, you can see it is changing the flavors. If it is a clinical psychology, it's a science stream. It's like it will have a basics of science. It will be purely science stream. If it's other social psychology and other psychology streams which I mentioned, it will be more from humanities background. So psychology is such an interesting domain, I would say, which can one can reach this through humanities as well as science background. Then let me talk about another very interesting psychology option as a career, that is military psychology. Now our warriors, our army professionals, they go out for war leaving their families behind. So there is so much of, there's a feeling of insecurity, there is a lot of stress, losing out their lives, their families, just everything falling down, there's nobody, no other bread earner or so. So this field of psychology is like soldiers who fight wars, and they often go through post-war trauma also. It is not easy to like uh, live in those situations. There's a anti-country person to whom you have to shoot, or you have to take some extreme action. It definitely affects an individual's stress levels and traumatic conditions also. So this kind of psychology, it deals with post-war trauma and stress situations which takes a heavy toll on their lives. To help them deal with it is a separate branch of psychology which has emerged, which is called as military psychology. Because whatever they have done for their nation, they have done it for humanity, right? So military psychologists, they help soldiers in dealing with mental as well as physical stress, because soldiers are mentally very strong people, but still out of those stressful situations, when one comes out, one needs a support system. So this branch of psychology is emerging as the most in demand and complicated branch among others in many countries, not just in India, because every country has their army to protect themselves, right? So another interesting branch that I would like to share with you, that can be taken up as a career in psychology, is to talk about the option of media psychology. So, media psychology, as the name only suggests, nowadays media has started playing a very important role, not just a fourth important pillar, but they have also emerged in a very strong manner. So, since research shows that 90% of our daily communications are now screen based, so media psychology is the branch of psychology that focuses on the relationship between human behavior and the media. This branch is a relatively new field of study, but it is rapidly advancing. So if one wants to take up psychology and wants to take up a very emerging line of career, which definitely has a sound future as well, so definitely media psychology can be considered as a very promising option, as a very promising option. There are many more options beside this if you take up psychology. These are just to some of the specializations, to name a few. And I would also like to mention that one can pursue psychology from India, as well as one can pursue psychology from abroad as well, countries like US, UK, Australia. So, in case one wants to pursue any, not just psychology or any other stream of specialization from abroad for overseas education, also, one can get connected with us. We provide end to end service for overseas education. And in case students of grade 8 to 12, parents of students who are studying in, like, grade 8 to 12 students, their parents can also get connected with us to take up personalized career counseling services. And we will perform a psychometric test based analysis to understand your child's SWOT analysis, strengths, their aptitudes, their interests, their likes, and accordingly, on a scientific way, based on the scientific report and information, we will guide you ahead, so that your child doesn't have to take a U-turn after 4 to 5 years of education, pursuing post graduation, and then realizing that not enjoying the work. So it is very expensive. A wrong decision is very expensive, because the child loses out on the precious years of learning. The parents lose out on the hard earned money that they invest as fees, heavy fees, in the educational institutions. So it is wise to invest a small amount and take up the career counseling services than to feel sorry later and wasting upon the precious time that goes and never comes back, and the money that has been lost. So it is always recommended to undergo career counseling services to make wise decisions. And you can get connected with us. You can check our website detail in the description box. You can get connected with us to take up any of the personalized services. And thank you so much for taking out your time to watch this video. And we'll be coming up with our next video very, very shortly. So please do subscribe to our channel, so that you do not miss upon any of the information that we are sharing on various career options. We've also talked about English proficiency test, because it is the common test. You take up any stream, any course, but English proficiency test is a test which everyone has to undergo in case the student is planning to study overseas. So there are various types of tests. I've detailed about that as well in one of my videos. So please do subscribe, so that you do not miss upon any such valuable information that we are sharing with you here. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for getting connected with us.